when we're kids, they always say it takes a village. Well, where is the village when we become adults? We still need the village. We need the village more than
Even
ever.
more. Even
Yes.
more.
Yes.
Because
So
we
I'm
need
like, we are
extra
going to
support.
be the village for one another, and we need to continue to be that village because, yeah, it is definitely needed when we are adults. So,
My
Yeah.
version of that saying is always saying that sisterhood is really the key to happiness. We're always looking for that right man. We're always looking for that right situation. Sisterhood is the key to happiness because they will get on your nerves. And at the end of the day, if we were pulling up in our living room right now in our pajamas, putting together, we're going to leave there fulfilled. Sisterhood is the key to happiness. We got to be real with each other. We got to love each other for real.
You just made me so happy. That's so true. I mean, I've experienced that firsthand. And so on this topic of, the village, right? Apostle Sean Mark, what's up, Apostle Sean Mark? I also see my godparents in these comments. I just appreciate the support so much. Apostle Sean Mark said, Kaylani is assisting in the development of a biblical community we are creating by God's grace, perhaps discussing best practices on community building. So I know we said we would take an additional question. We've got a few minutes left on this live. So let's talk about that. I feel like we're all kind of saying the same thing in a different way. Finding that tribe and having that sense of community is literally what can help make someone quit on a Sunday or continue on a Monday, right? Having that support system, it is crucial. So I will give my 2 cents because community building is my thing, but I'm going to open it up to you guys first. Let's talk about how you're building community among your brands and your businesses and how community has really helped you get to where you are right now.
Nasima.
I'm a community builder, but not intentionally, really. It's because I think for far too long, people have not seen people that look like me talk about things in the way that I talk about things. I keep it real. I share my stories, but I also was brought up with that each one teach one mentality. If I'm gonna learn something, I'm gonna teach it to you. If I know something, I'm gonna put you up on game. And so it's that genuine connectivity that people are craving because like we talked about, so much stuff now is fake news out there, right? And so if there's somebody that looks like you, that can talk like you, that can still cuss you out, and that you have a connection with, that you can see yourself and maybe just has accomplished something that you have never accomplished or thought was impossible. I'm that person for a lot of people, even though like I said, it wasn't intentional. But I build communities just based off of just being uniquely me.
I need to talk about you for a second because that was really humble. Okay, I think humble is fine, and I think humble is great. But from an outsider looking in, you're a mother juggling children. You have a career. You're a nurse. You're at high levels in your career in terms of earning. What you described to us last time and what you experienced reminded me of how educated and articulate that you are. So it's really building. I mean, it's not a surprise to me at all how people gravitate towards you. We met when you spoke at an event, at a Get Your House in Order event with Felicia back in, I don't know how long ago at this point. And I remember listening to you speak, and I remember the vulnerability, and that was what it was. So you did touch on that. But having someone stand up in front of you and talk about the fact that they're earning wages, they're not earning self-employment income, they're earning wages, they're managing that income on top of having children, on top of homeownership in the Bay Area, in California, is extremely inspiring. And I think that for you guys to subscribe and continue to show up to our show to learn more about Nasima alone would be worth it. So because there's a level of brilliance that you exude so humbly, so gracefully, and as a mother. I think there's way too many people that look at motherhood as a crutch, as a debilitating factor. And I think mothers have, an extra battery on their back to make things happen, like you do.
You gonna make a thug shed a tear?
I'm gonna give you your flowers. I'm gonna give you your flowers.
Oh, thank you.
And that was a good call to action. If you have not already subscribed to this YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe, click the notifications or the bell or whatever they say for the YouTube things. But yeah. Okay, Lady Jade, community, because you are and I'm sure you would be humble in as well, but I had to learn about you. I met you without really knowing, from a personal introduction, without really knowing the fullness. And I probably still don't know the fullness of your influence in your community. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, I don't do well talking about myself in this aspect. I will say that my entire career has been built on community. Just being honest. I always said I wouldn't have a job. When I was on radio, I wouldn't have a job if people didn't listen. And I always understood why God gave me my platform, and it wasn't for me. My platform was 150% for others. And so one of the things that I love to do is I've probably spoken at 1,000 schools here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, because I knew that what God gave me was for our future generation, right? So connecting with community and being reachable, where people could actually touch me and connect with me on a personal level. I never wanted to create this barrier. We're all supposed to model our lives the way that, and I know that everybody on here may believe differently. So I respect all beliefs. So I can only speak for me, right? But I try to model myself. And obviously we all do a horrible job because we live in sin every single day. So I don't want to compare myself. But the same way, like they said, Jesus was walking with the people. Like I never wanted to be disconnected from people, right? Because people are who make you. People are who keep you going. So I always try to, my mom taught me, like, even though Jay, you're a leader, you're supposed to be a servant leader first. So and I believe that being a servant is like, when I'm out doing things, like, I ain't too good to stack chairs. I'm not too good to clean up. I'm not too good to do all of these things. So, yeah, I don't really know how to answer the question, because it's kind of uncomfortable for me in a sense, but I do know that it's the people, it is the community that, when I decided to walk away from radio, why I still have not stopped working, right? Because people have really, 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 truly, like, they rock with me. And it's crazy the connection that we do have. And I'm so appreciative of that. But when you start learning who you are authentically and showing up as your authentic self and not trying to act like you better than people, look, real recognize real at the end of the day, so I'm so appreciative. And I mean, like, even to this day, I wouldn't be anything without community. So definitely love the people for sure.
And you know what? And if you're uncomfortable talking about it, that's fine. I will say it for you. Who I have gotten to know, who Jade is personally, is beautiful and authentic. And I think that is one of the keys to building community. When you are exposing yourself in a community, now, whether this is a paid online community, which is what I help people learn how to build, or if this is, your essence or sense of community, you cannot fake the funk. Because when you are exposing yourself to people, they are going to call you out on your BS. Period, full stop. So that authenticity has to be there from the beginning and how you interact with people. And if people get anything but something genuine from you, you're going to be knocked off of that pedestal really, really quickly. And not that any of us aspire to be there, but there is responsibility in leadership. Mm-hmm. And if you are not taking your role of responsibility seriously, you don't even deserve to be leading a community, quite frankly, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate everything that you just said there, community in all senses of the word. So, and Patty, we need to talk about the community you've built in your business around Truth Behind the Headlines.
Yeah. I want to say that when I observe Jade, and I'm inspired to just kind of be more free. And I was just telling someone about this. I'm going to expose something vulnerable about myself. I grew up in a little bit of a chaotic environment. And I remember there would be very intense, sometimes violent arguments in the house. And if we stepped out and had to go somewhere and be seen publicly, we all acted like nothing ever happened. And we came back came back again at home, never talked about it, and just kept going like nothing ever happened. Yeah. And I had to examine that a little bit. And I realized something. It's kind of why I have this obsession with this polished and, oh my gosh, this is how I have to present myself. And I thought about that, and I was like, I got to work on that. And when I watch Jade and I see that she's just free, and there's this freeness about her energy, I'm really, really drawn to that. And I'm really inspired and moved by that. And I think that part of what happened with my relationship, this is what we're talking about community. and why it takes a village, I would never have created that webinar, and I never would be on this show, and I never would have made a fucking video on Instagram had it not been for Kehlani pushing me. I wouldn't have. I didn't want people to look at me. I don't want to be seen. I've spent so much time hiding. I've done that for so long. And she pushed me. She pushed me to get in front of people. And I learned that I had so much to say. I learned that I knew how to talk about the market. I learned how smart I was about the economy. I didn't even know I could talk like that. And you'll surprise yourself. And sometimes you need people to see something in you that you can't see yourself to push yourself. We looked at the calendar from when that started back in August 2022 till now. I cannot believe what the numbers have done in terms of traffic and the analytics and the emails and how many people tune in and how many people look forward. To have 150 people show up every single month for almost 2 years to my webinar is a big deal, because my shit is boring. I'm not over here talking about the latest news. Like, we're not talking about hot topics. We're not talking about baby mamas and like P. Diddy and stuff like that. We're talking about the economy. It's pretty boring. So I learned so much about myself by my sister, my community pushing me and saying, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And it's taken so long for me to care so much less about what I look like on camera and get out there. And I know that's something a lot of people struggle with. So community is about the 4 people you're sitting on the stage with, in your bedroom with, crying to and figuring it out. So they wipe your tears and force you and push your ass out on the stage. And then it goes to growing and building, because like what Nasima said, we're relatable. We're normal human beings. There are so many people that look at us and say, damn, I really want to do that. Or I know I can do that because I can see her and she's like me. So, that's what I have to say about that.
Can I say something about you too, Patty? Real talk. You are freaking made for TV. And I'm not just saying it because you're physically beautiful. I'm saying because of like the way you tell the stories, the way you disseminate the information. Like literally every time we're on here and I'm hearing you speak, I'm like, she's going to be on CNN one day. She's going to be on this. Yep. I'm telling you right now, like get ready for God to push you forward, because he's pushing you out of your comfort zone. Like you're top in your industry, right? And so the world needs to see that. The world needs to see you. The world needs to see somebody that looks like them, that looks different, that is not only beautiful, but also humble, also articulate, also with a sense of humor, also with a little bit of flaws here and there. Like you are what people need to see. Like TV needs new faces, girl. And I'm telling you, everybody, I hope this is being recorded. You mark my word. I'm telling you, you're gonna be on TV one day. People are gonna see you.
With me. If I go, you're coming with me.
And that's on a prophetic word, for real. Yes. It's her delivery. And I've been, from the day that I met her, I said, why are you not talking to people more? It's her gift. Girl. It's truly, God says your gift will make room for you, and it's making room for you. So
I love somebody in the chat put good speed. No, it's Godspeed, girl. You better get ready.
Somebody said Patty for president. I've been saying that for like 2 years.
Wherever I go, you guys are coming with me. That's the truth. Let's do it.
All right, Kehlani, what about you?
I don't even remember what my question was
about building community. Building community.
Yeah, I think that building community it's become, first of all, I want to address the fact that it's becoming a buzzword now. It's becoming something that people are marketing to sell nowadays, and all of the social media platforms are offering like community. Even on YouTube, on our YouTube page, there is a tab for community, which is really just posting, right? So this idea of community and monetizing community is it's not new. It's just now being recognized for what it is, right? So for example, a Facebook group. One could argue that a Facebook group is a community, or a Discord channel, or whatever is a community. And it is. But what I've learned in running Women in Real Estate, shout out to Women in Real Estate, shout out to all my WIRE members on this call. I see all of you in the chat. Shout out to my business partner, Brittany. Shout out to everybody. One thing I have learned about running a community is that it is hard. And people that are selling community right now, or thinking that they are selling community, or looking to upsell or do the internet marketing, lifestyle marketing stuff to sell community, you guys are in for a rude awakening, because community is one of the most gratifying, fulfilling business models that I've ever seen, just as a professional in all of the different jobs and businesses I've been in, but as someone who runs it, it is the most beautiful environment, and you are really responsible for creating that space. So we talked about responsibility as a leader, and not everybody can run communities, and it is cut out for people who genuinely care for others and are for the people. So I just want to set the tone with saying that if that is you, or if you are somebody who has a business, has an email list, has a following on social media, has connections or with people that have a similar interest, you should be creating a community. Because if you guys didn't notice what just happened about 2 minutes ago, what just happened was that we all just heard Nasima's story, gave her flowers, poured into her, loved on her. We heard Jade's story, gave her flowers, poured into her. We heard Patty's story, gave her flowers and poured into her. And that's exactly what your community should feel like. If you're not around people that make you feel like the what we just witnessed between the four of us, you're in the wrong group. Okay. So you need to be seeking that group. And if that group doesn't exist, create that group. Create it for you and for people that need it just like you. So I guess all that being said, when I think about community, I think of exactly what this show is intended to do and be, and that is to create a community for people to know that you all are not crazy. We are going through things just like you are. Keep going. Keep going. And that's my message for today.
Well, that's what she said. What?
Well, that is what she said.